Yo, what is up? Welcome to Ninja Geek Games. The Winds of Numa Sera is a 2 to 4 player competitive game of hand management, diplomacy and strategy, set in the very same universe as the acclaimed graphic novel from Dark Horse. Now, I was quite intrigued when I first received this game as the theme appeals to me. It seems to have bottled up the betrayal from Game of Thrones and poured it into this very box, including high fantasy, warring houses and tactical combat. The game is set in a war-torn land with 4 kingdoms vying for power. You control one of these kingdoms, whether it be those consisting of the valiant knights, cat people, ferocious warriors, or the ordained bloodline from the Numa Sera itself. During the game, you'll need to gain assets for your heroes, explore the land, conquer strongholds, and build a solid infrastructure to expand your kingdom. In its most basic format, The Winds of Numa Sera is a card game, but incorporates a good deal of strategy and scheming to achieve victory. During each game there are 4 separate win conditions, and as we'll see, depending on game length, the winner is the first player to achieve up to 2 of these objectives. These victory settings include becoming a conqueror, a master, a legend, and lastly a champion, where each requires a different strategy to overcome. What I thought was a good start is that the game begins with you first selecting your line of succession, which is the order that you wish to play your heroes. This becomes important as each of your heroes presents with a unique set of stats and abilities. During play, you then get to explore the land by drawing cards from an exploration deck that holds rare items, allies, encounters, as well as hazards to overcome. You can also buy assets and equip them to your current hero, gain upgrade skills, as well as trade or suggest diplomatic arrangement with other players. You then get to decide whether to build or attack. To build increases your capital funds and improves your kingdom's power and resourcefulness. If you attack, you can attempt to storm an independent stronghold or those owned by other players, or directly take on one of their heroes, dealer's choice. This continues with each player taking turns until one leader meets the required number of win conditions. Let's take a look. This is the centre stage of the game, a map board representing the land of Ethra where most of the game cards are stored. There is an independent stronghold deck where there are always revealed garrisons. These can be attacked by all players, and each stronghold will have a defense value, capital, as well as a reward for its defeat and a special ability you can use once claimed. The World Forge stores equipment such as armour, weapons and trinkets, and these form a market-like area, and once bought you can equip them to your hero. We have 5 small decks of cards, all providing your kingdom with powerful abilities that you can level up, providing great enhancements. Lastly, there's an encounter deck, and during your turn you'll draw cards providing a boon or hazard, special items, influential allies, battle cards to be used in combat, or essence cards that require a test to be carried out. We also get a cool looking D6 and a load of capital coins, which is the currency in the game. Each player gets their own kingdom board. The area around the outside is where you'll store all the cards you've collected throughout the game. So strongholds will go here, and gain skill cards are stored here, for example. Each player holds a set of locked class cards that only come into play if you're able to meet the prerequisite indicated, and this is actually one of the ways to win the game. Each of the kingdom boards has an asymmetric build tree area to unlock ongoing effects or one-use abilities. In most, you must follow a specific set of paths where some abilities even have requirements to be in place before they become available to you. This shows your kingdom's starting assets, which will be battle cards and capital, and the board also has a turn overview section. Your hero cards go here, and each player has 3 specific to their kingdom, all with unique stats and abilities. At the start of the game, you'll need to select the order of activation of the heroes, and this is deemed as setting your line of succession. The active hero's attack, defense and power value are marked in these spaces below the card, and this is because as you play the game, a number of cards will affect these values, and it's a far easier way to track the changes. Likewise, combat results are tracked in this area because again, certain cards and dice rolls will alter your attack or defense status, and as you're discussing these with other players, it saves a great deal of time for record keeping. Lastly, you may earn capital during your turns, and any bonuses to your residual income are also noted here. The components and their quality are of a really high standard. The artwork is awesome, and the way the game is presented looks pretty cool. This means that setup is quick and simple. It's just a matter of separating cards and creating decks, and then drawing where required. The game has great table presence, but you do need to prep for quite a bit of room around your player boards. As the game continues, you'll amass more and more cards, so your initial play area starts to fill out pretty quickly. Now, I like the idea of being able to write stats and other values on your player board. This provides a simple way to keep track of upgrades to your active hero or increases in capital that can be amended easily. But if you have an avid leaner in your gaming group, those that like to put their forearms across the play area and constantly hang over components, then there is a chance they can accidentally wipe off some of these stats. However, it only takes a minute to recalculate, but it's long enough to glare at them. One aspect of the game that I thought was novel was the line of succession, where even before the game begins, you need to select the order in which you want your heroes to appear. Each of the kingdoms comes with 3 unique heroes, all having special abilities that affect your kingdom, heroes, or the world. Only one hero will be active per player at any time, and depending on your choice, the other heroes only become usable when the current hero has been defeated. This is represented by stacking your hero cards, and as they're defeated, they reveal the next one in the line of succession. I love this part of the game. The abilities and stats need to be assessed carefully because they all have very powerful effects that you'll need to make use of at the right time during the game. For instance, one hero will generate quite a pile of money whilst active. If this hero is defeated, then you lose this capital, but you can take this coin at any point and you can't use that ability again. Others allow you to start the game with cards taken from the world, already leading you towards the path of victory, or gain stat increases every time you unlock areas on your build tree, for example. Therefore, the combination of lineup is all dependent on the strategy that you want to employ. The game is actually quite simple to play, and I consider this to be a light to medium weight game. The complexity is in your approach and the decisions that you will make each turn. At first glance, the rulebook is incredibly daunting at 43 pages, but a lot of this is images associated with the text, and it's very well written and clearly laid out. During each player's turn, there are 2 phases. During the explore phase, you can buy cards from the World Forge market, skill area, negotiate with other players, as well as draw an encounter card. In the second phase, you can either build to gain capital and open up areas of your build tree, or attack a stronghold on the world map, those belonging to other players, or attempt to take on an opponent's hero. Drawing an encounter is a random event. You could be lucky and gain an ally, and these sit on top of your player board. However, you can instead choose to discard them, and this usually provides capital. Hazards and boons provide an immediate effect to your kingdom, and some may allow you to negate a negative effect by spending coin or your hero's power, which doubles as their health. Battle cards go straight to your hand and are used in combat, and any found items can be equipped to your hero. As well as finding rare items in the encounter deck, you can purchase them from the market area with capital. All items are stored to the side of your board or go to hand and may increase your stat value of your hero or provide you with ongoing effects. The skill cards can be bought from one of 5 decks. Each of these provides an initial level 1 ability to increase stat values, change how you draw encounter cards, and can even be used to upgrade your equipment so you can use the bonus ability on your items. Now, these skill cards are stackable, so as you gain more of the same type, you get to use the next level ability of that card. Basically, in this phase of the game, you're building up your heroes, upgrading equipment, and can even negotiate with other players. Some of the cards you gain don't have to be played immediately, they can go to hand. This could be because you don't want to play them yet, they require a prerequisite to be in place first, or perhaps you're bluffing. Maybe you want other players to think you have more combat cards, so they'll think twice about attacking you. For assets, you can only have a certain number of these items equipped. You can't wear 2 helms. Therefore, you may want to keep one back just in case, or offer it for trade later, and this is where diplomacy comes in. During this exploration phase, you can trade any card except heroes with another player. You can do this in exchange for cash, other cards, strongholds, skills, or as a peace offering. You can even pay other players to attack a rival kingdom, although nothing is binding, which is great. And this payment could be money or your hero's power or health, or a card or 2. The skill cards are a great asset to have, but at a cost. Each time you claim a skill card of a type you already have, you get the next level benefit, which is one way of upgrading equipment, increasing hero stats, or gaining more capital. However, they are costly. Each level 1 card is a mere 10 capital. Not too bad. But for each level you go up in one particular skill type, the price increases by 10 capital. This means a level 4 card will cost you an arm and a leg. plus 40 capital. During the next phase, you get to build or attack. If you want to develop your kingdom and build, you first gain residual capital that includes any additions gained from cards you have. You then get to select one of the available build sections that could be an immediate bonus or passive ability, but you do have to follow paths so you can't skip sections. If you decide to attack and go into combat, you can take on strongholds from the world map, other players, or fight active heroes. Regardless of which atrocity you want to commit, they all follow a similar format. As an attacker, you calculate your hero's attack value, noting that some cards provide a bonus if attacking a specific target. You then roll the battle die that can increase or decrease your current attack value. If fighting an independent stronghold, you just need to equal or exceed the card's defense value to win. Doing so provides residual income, immediate capital, and of course the stronghold card to go to your player area, and all have cool abilities. However, if you take on another player's stronghold or hero, there are a few changes. Firstly, they get to use either their stronghold or hero defense value and also get to roll the combat die. What's more, each player gets to use a battle card from hand. These have a cost in capital or power, but can be devastating and will certainly turn the tides of battle. Combat is fast, furious and fun. If you defeat another player's stronghold, it now becomes yours. Likewise, if you whittle an opponent's hero power to 0, they're defeated. At times, some clever card play means there's only a slight reduction in hero power, which is equivalent of health. Therefore, it's best to attack at the right time, or else another player could mop up where you left. It may seem a bit luck-based, relying on the roll of a die, but battle cards come at a cost of capital or power and can be fundamental to combat. Note that as players can lose heroes, there is a worry of player elimination, but the game doesn't usually last that much longer after this, so you can get your revenge later. Depending on game length chosen at setup, there are 4 win conditions where the first player to achieve 1 or 2 of these conditions is victorious. I usually opt for the longer game that requires players to meet 2 of these, and this usually takes 60 to 90 minutes. These win conditions include owning 4 strongholds, defeating any 3 heroes, reaching level 4 in 1 skill type and unlocking all 5 class cards. These class cards come in the form of tyrants, heirs or a sage, and each is unlocked by meeting a certain condition like equipping 3 assets to a hero or owning a number of strongholds. Once unlocked, they provide a benefit to your kingdom. What I like about this game is it's a very efficient engine builder. As you claim cards, not only do they provide bonuses or passive effects, they also support other actions like gaining capital for equipment and skill cards that benefit your kingdom as well as lead you to victory. It's very clever and provides an infinite loop of actions and reactions, but it does become a lot to take note of. Recording income and stat increases on your player board is simple enough, but some cards provide a modifier in battle only if attacking a stronghold or if another condition is met. As you start to gain a hoard of cards, you'll need to ensure you're fully aware of all these exceptions, whilst also tracking who is close to victory. It's refreshing to see that each kingdom is versatile and advanced in a particular playstyle and strategy, with asymmetric benefits and abilities. This is amplified by the starting combination of heroes within your chosen line of succession, and all kingdoms are well balanced and feel very different to play as, which is important in a game like this. There is only one thing I would change, and I've even thrown in a house rule for this. At 4 players, there are 10 strongholds in the game. This means that when all are claimed from the map board, you are forced to attack another player to get the victory condition, which is awesome. But at 2 players, there's no need for this as the strongholds are abundant. Therefore, I alter the amount of strongholds available based on the number of players in the game. I add strongholds equal to double the number of players plus 2. They've done similar for the skill cards, and I think it leads to a much tighter game. Regardless, I can say that The Winds of Numa Sera is possibly the best game that I've played this year. I love the theme, combat mechanics, engine building, and even the table talk for bartering and alliances, or betrayal. Each of the kingdoms are great to play as, and one of the finest aspects of the game is that victory becomes very close between all players. It seems that once the victory condition has been met, you curse under your breath as just one more turn could have seen a different outcome, and this happens often, so you really need to be brave and take risks at times. The game hits Kickstarter at the end of June and is already a finished product. There's looking to be a standard version, this here deluxe version with foil cards, metal coins and skulls in the combat dice, as well as a champion pledge with a few surprises. So everything you've seen in this video is what you're going to get, and it's great. I've also had a chance to flick through the graphic novel, and it's epic and so well illustrated. What the designers have done here is take a very popular story and universe and formatted it to produce an excellent tabletop experience that is just wonderful to play. All of the kingdoms have an advantage of which route to take to victory, but this doesn't stop you throwing in a curveball and catching people off guard. I think the whole presence of the game pulls you into a very immersive world of tactical prowess and skill, and this is going to hit the table often. Thank you for watching. This is Ninja Geek Games. Cheers.